Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that's a real game changer for AI privacy. I mean, what if you could have an AI assistant that's basically ChatGPT, but it runs completely offline, right on your own computer? Let's get into how that's not just possible, but actually pretty easy. So let me just ask you this straight up. What if you could get all the power of a tool like ChatGPT, but you didn't need the internet, ever? And your data, your conversations, never, ever left your machine. And on top of all that, what if it was completely free? No subscriptions. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly the promise we're going to unpack today. All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, we'll talk about the issues with the cloud-based AI we're all used to. Then, we'll introduce the star of the show, Jan.ai. After that, we'll look under the hood to see how it actually works offline. And finally, we'll help you figure out if this is the right move for you. Okay, so first things first. Before we can really appreciate a solution like Jan, we've got to understand the problem. And that's what I like to call the cloud AI dilemma. All those hidden costs and trade-offs that come with using AI online.
You know, when you're chatting with most of the popular AIs out there, you're making a few big compromises. For starters, your conversations are being sent to some companies' servers, which is a huge privacy red flag, especially if you're dealing with sensitive stuff. Plus, if your internet cuts out, you're completely out of luck. Then there are the subscription fees that keep adding up, the fact that it's not even available everywhere, and you're basically dependent on a big corporation to get anything done.
So what's the fix for all that? Well, this is where Jan.ai comes into the picture. And it's not just another app, you know? It's part of this bigger idea of data sovereignty, which is just a fancy way of saying you get to be in complete control of your own stuff, your own data. It's about taking that power back. So what is Jan, really? Well, at its heart, it's a free open-source program you install right on your computer, whether you're on Mac, Windows, or Linux. And its whole mission is super simple, to give you an interface that looks and feels almost exactly like ChatGPT, but where all the thinking, all the processing happens right there on your machine. Nothing ever goes to the cloud.
You know, here's probably the best way to think about it. Using ChatGPT is a lot like using Google Drive. It's super convenient, you can get to it from anywhere, but your files are living on their servers. Jan.ai, on the other hand, is like your own personal external hard drive. It's all yours. It works whether you have internet or not, and you have complete, total control. You're basically swapping that cloud convenience for absolute privacy and freedom.
Okay, so how in the world does Jan pack all of this power into one little desktop app? It seems kind of like magic, right? Well, let's peek under the hood and see the key parts that make it this all-in-one AI toolkit for your computer. So the first piece of the puzzle is something called the Model Hub. The best way to picture this is like an app store, but for AI brains. You can just scroll through all these powerful open-source models, like Llama 3 from Meta or the new ones from Mistral, and with just one click, you download it straight to your computer. That's it. No complicated setups, no command lines, it just works. Next up is the part you'll actually use the most, the chat interface. And the team behind Jan was smart about this. They made it look and feel instantly familiar. If you've ever used ChatGPT, you'll know exactly what to do. You can have multiple conversations, switch between different AI models you've downloaded, and it all just stays right there, safe and sound on your computer.
Okay, now this is a killer feature. Jan.ai has document chat built right in. This is sometimes called RAG, but all it means is you can drop in your own files, like PDFs, lecture notes, whatever, and start having a conversation with them. I mean, just imagine feeding it a 50-page research paper and just asking, hey, what are the main takeaways? And you can do that knowing your private document never, ever leaves your computer. That's huge.
And getting set up is honestly so simple. It's just 4 steps. You go to their website and download the app. You install it just like you would any other program. You open it up, pop into the hub, and download an AI model. And boom, that's it. You can literally turn off your Wi-Fi right then and there and start chatting. It's that easy.
So, we've seen what Jan is, we've seen how it works, but now we've got to answer the most important question of all. Is this tool actually the right fit for you? Because let's be honest, an offline AI isn't for everybody. So let's get real about who this is for and who it isn't.
You're going to absolutely love Jan.ai if you fall into one of these groups. If you're a big privacy advocate, someone who really cares about controlling your own data, this is a no-brainer. Same for professionals, think lawyers, doctors, therapists, who handle super confidential information. And for students or writers who just need a powerful tool that's free and works on a plane or in a coffee shop with bad Wi-Fi, it's perfect. Or, anyone who works where the internet is just plain spotty.
But on the flip side, Jan might not be your best bet if your computer is, a little on the older side. Running these models locally does take some horsepower.
Also, if your work requires the absolute cutting-edge reasoning that only a massive model like GPT-4 can provide right now, you might need to stick with the cloud. And hey, some people just prefer the convenience of online services over total privacy, and that's perfectly okay. So when you put Jan side by side with the competition, things get really clear. Compared to another local tool called LM Studio, Jan's built-in document chat really gives it an edge. But when you put it next to ChatGPT, you see the real trade-off. Jan gives you 100% offline access, maximum privacy, and it's totally free. With ChatGPT, you're paying for cloud convenience and access to their top-tier models, but you're giving up that privacy and control. All right, so let's wrap this up with the key things to remember. Think of Jan.ai as your personal, private, offline ChatGPT. Because it runs only on your computer, you have total 100% control over your data. It's an amazing all-in-one tool for both everyday chats and for securely analyzing your private documents. And it really is the best choice for anyone whose work is sensitive or who needs their tools to work anywhere, anytime. And that really brings us to the final thought, the big question that I want to leave you with. This whole choice between local and cloud AI, it's not just about the tech. It's about what you value more. Is the simple convenience of the cloud worth handing over your data? Or is taking back full ownership and having total privacy worth the trade-off? That's the question that a tool like Jan.ai makes us all think about. Thanks for tuning in.